This is the start of the 2026, and this is our first webinar. I have Flora with me and Dr. Peter Lopez. He's actually in surgery as we are live here. He will be joining us in a short while after he's done with his surgery. Um, the participant today get $150 off of their surgery package. Of course, this cannot be combined with any other offer we have. But basically, the process is very simple. You go to MexicoCosmeticCenter.com and you click on the health questionnaire. You fill out the health questionnaire, and we will go over the detail of how to do it the proper way, because you have to include your pictures and everything. And then I would release a Zoom poll at the sometime in the presentation, and we would try to answer as many questions at the end. So if you have any question that you don't hear during our presentation, just please add it to the Q&A tab on your screen, and we will try to get to as many as possible during this presentation. Just a quick note about myself. My name is Ron Ellie. I started in medical tourism, specifically in Mexico back in 2007. We started with bariatric surgery. And of course, I've been around all the facilities, all the places in Mexico specifically for medical tourism. And I started 2012 MBC, which Mexico Bariatric Center, and subsequently in 2013 Mexico Cosmetic Center, MCC. And we opened Hospital Azar, which was a project I followed for years, in September of 24. We have a really great staff at this point. Flora is directing our program. She's been around medical tourism for years. She's very familiar with all surgeons, hospital facilities in Mexico, and she has great eyes to consult with patients. And if you need any time to talk to her, you can ask or call her number 916-224-9611. Also, Tiffany. Tiffany is our in-house coordinator, and she's been with us. She is our past patient, and she's been helping plastic patients, I think, almost over a year. Kelly is our MBC MCC past patient. She's a great testimonial for what our patients do as far as transformation. Unfortunately, she had some power issue at her house. She couldn't join us today, but we have Destiny. Destiny is also our past MBC, MCC patient. These are what we call total transformation, when they do weight loss surgery and they do plastics to totally change their image, change their confidence, add years to their lives, and live a full, healthy life. Hospital Azar has given us the opportunity to extend our services beyond bariatrics and plastics. Now we're doing Botox, massages, skincare. Um, I would mention about the other procedures shortly, gynecology, like hysterectomy, endometriosis, and orthoscopic. And soon we would offer stem cell. Um, so stem cell can be basically for anti-aging and health issues, but also for joint and orthopedic problems in the spine, shoulder, knee, hip. Um, the subjects that I'm going to be covering today is we will talk about what are the procedures that MCC offers. We talk about what is MCC, and we would talk about our hospital facilities. We would talk about patient process. Um, we would talk about the procedures, and then hopefully Dr. Lopez would join us at that time, so he would explain detail and what is involved in each procedure. We would talk about what is our packages, all-inclusive packages, what does it cover? Why is it so important to go through all-inclusive packages? And I would release the Zoom poll. We would do the Q&A session, cover as many questions as we can, and we would uh, we would end our webinar. So one thing I wish Kelly was available today because she always talk about when she came to us, she actually came to get liposuction to lose weight. But when she contacted us on the MCC side, we told her that your BMI is too high for going through plastics only. And we sent her to the MBC. And MBC, she did a gastric sleeve and she lost all the weight she wanted. And then she came back and did a body contouring. And she has changed her life. She looks great. She feels great. She's actually working with us as a coordinator now. And so there is no replacement because there is this misconception that I can lose weight with plastic surgery. That is not true. You know, even with the lipo, you can only extract so much fat and so many pounds. It's actually become dangerous after maybe 5 pounds. So there is a criteria that what is a good candidate for plastic surgery. We have a guideline of maximum BMI of 33. Usually we like to be 30 or below. Of course, every individual is different. We take your pictures, we consult with the doctor, with the surgeon. There's also, Flora involved, there is Jen involved. There's so many people involved to make sure you are a good candidate. And there are surgeons, there are facilities, even in US, that they take patients that have a BMI of 35, 40. But remember, when you doing that, you may end up needing bariatrics. And if you do another bariatric surgery, that means you're going to get loose skin. You might get a loose skin, and then you may need another procedure. So the best ideal timeline for post-bariatric patients to get weight loss, plastic surgery is 1.5 years. That's at least the timeline post-op to wait to get to your ideal goal weight and then do the procedure at that time. Um, Remember, MCC is expert in plastic surgery, but also expert in reconstructive and post-bariatric, post-weight loss patients. That's a huge area that is sometimes being ignored because the surgeon needs to have that expertise to deal with patients who have lost extensive amount of weight and their skin, their body is different from just a regular plastic surgery patient. So you may get loose skin, depends on how fast you lose weight, your skin elasticity, your age, your genes, your genetic. You may end up needing a, a skin removal. And basically, you know, we pretty much categorize body contouring, which is tummy tuck, breast lift, arm lift, thigh lift, and facelift. So these are two different categories that we deal with. One thing I need to mention up front is one of the attractive points of going to Mexico and getting surgery is that our surgeons are extremely uh, skilled and experienced. And also, we can offer you multiple procedures in one operation, which sometimes is called Mommy Makeover, right? Mommy Makeover basically is a catch-all phrase to say that you can do maybe a tummy tuck with arm lift or tummy tuck with breast lift. In some occasions, maybe tummy tuck, breast lift, and arm lift. But here's the catch. The the amount of procedures that we can do in one operation, but we also set a time limit. We don't like to have basically long you be under anesthetic in long periods of time. And this is what our company, that's one of the rules in our company is we try to do the operation less than 5 hours, maybe 6. Again, it depends on the patient's health. Remember, post-bariatric patients are more susceptible to getting complications than a normal patient. So these are all factors, right? But the prolonged amount of anesthesia and being under anesthetic, it comes with pulmonary issues, with blood clots, and increased hospital stay. So I know everyone comes that we all want to get more in one operation so we can get it over with and save money and save time. But remember, the limit is the number of hours that you're under. Now, there is also the skill of the surgeon, the team of the surgeon that determines during that 5 to 6 hours how many of these procedures we can do. So not only are surgeons are skilled, they also have a great team to offer the most in one operation. And also remember, you may go to a company that they would accept to do all that you want to do, but there is a danger with that. And they may take this operation to 8, sometimes 10 hours. That's I highly recommend you look at all these factors before you decide which company, what procedures you want to go with. We always play it safe. Now, we will talk about all-inclusive packages later on, but what we do is like we would coordinate all that you need when you arrive from driving you to Mexico, doing all the pre-ops, doing the hospital procedure itself, hospital stay, all the transportation, post-op care. We also have a medical tourism insurance, which is very affordable, $199 that we offer. This is basically we are setting standards in this business. We are making sure that your experience is safe, pleasant, and you get the best care possible. That's what MCC does. Again, I mentioned what are the pluses to go to Mexico and with MCC. Now, one thing I want to mention is the social media is great, but also you have to look beyond the cute videos or in the Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Anybody can put some before after picture. They can Photoshop that, make a cute video, and they make it look like the surgeon, the facilities is great, but you have to do your research. What is behind all this social media? Can you trust that organization? One of the things that MCC offers, first of all, we are a US corporation. All of our coordinators are US based. Our main office where I am right now, actually, I just came from Tijuana yesterday. I was in the hospital, but I happened to be here today to do the presentation. Our main office is in Folsom, California, in Sacramento, and that's where I am. We have, since inception, been dedicated to offer the best top quality procedures with best surgeons with all-inclusive packages. And like I mentioned, we are basically regulate the bariatric and plastic surgery industry in Mexico by doing the stuff we're doing. The process is very simple. You fill out the health questionnaire. Of course, I will go over the pics, how you put the pictures and all that. You get basically a free consultation. So who is involved? Your coordinator, probably Destiny, Kelly, Tiffany, and Flora is involved. Our surgeon liaison, Jen, is involved. The surgeon, of course, is involved. We do all that to make sure you are a good candidate. The procedures you get is safe, and the maximum we can offer the number of surgeries for you. Now, this is the thing. When we do when you put the deposit, you select a date, and you go on the calendar. Of course, you arrange for your flight, whether you drive, and you finish your paperwork. But the procedure that we book for you is not the final procedure. The final procedure is determined when you actually in there with the surgeon, when they're marking you and talking to you again and making sure that you're getting the best procedures for you. Most likely you would end up with the same that we booked you for, but sometimes there may be slight changes. You may change your mind after talking to the doctor, after he marks you or he or she marks you. You may change some, which is that's the final plan for your procedure. Usually, Flora explains, what's the proper way to upload your pictures for the best possible consultation. Again, pull your hair back for if you're getting a facelift, for example, pull your hair back. You want to have different angles of your face, and also if you're doing a body lift or body contouring, the same thing. Make sure, you like your arms are up so we can see all the loose skin all over, and basically on the front, back, sides, both sides. And this is crucial to make sure that we do a proper consultation for you. We do have an age limit, about 70, but then again, everybody's health is different, so we customize the BMI. These are basically a general guideline And also, one thing that you need to remember, we need your hemoglobin to be more than 13, especially if you're doing mommy makeover. So what the first thing you do is before you come, maybe a month before, do a blood test, very simple blood test to make sure your hemoglobin, your iron level is high. And when you get there, we don't have any issues with this, so we can do the procedure. I was talking about what is involved after you submit your health questionnaire. You see, the nutritionists, the patient coordinators, which is a team of Flora and the coordinators I mentioned, the surgeon liaison, Jen, is involved. And we've picked the best plastic surgeons for your situation. Not every plastic surgeon is good in every area. There are plastic surgeons that we have that are great with face. They have extensive experience with face. For example, they go to all the congresses that they have the latest and the greatest knowledge and technology to do the face. And there are some that are great with body contouring to do the maximum number of procedures under the 5-6 hour time limit I mentioned. So these are the way we are handling every patient. Of course, one of the pluses that we do is the support group, right? We have a great support group that can help you before and after. Okay. Right now we have over 2,000 past patients and future patients in our group. And these are real patients that you can ask questions, they interact, they give you update on how they're doing post-op, pre-op. So let's
Say it to you. They don't know what to think about it. The feet of September, lighting up and powering. Never too late. 2,000 miles, it's to the spring.
Well, Hospital Azar was my dream for years to build, and finally it materialized in 2024. The name is coming from my mother, which is a Persian name and symbolizes light and fire. This has been, like I mentioned, a game changer for us. This hospital is one of the best facilities right now in Mexico, and to be honest with you, anywhere. Any other hospital facilities or surgeons that have visited this facility is impressed with the installation, the patient experience, which all patients have open view of the Tijuana, and the luxury, the cleanliness of the hospital. We have over 35,000 square feet that accommodates 40 rooms, 40 beds actually. Some of the rooms, very little of our rooms are double, but mostly are single, and is in the prominent area of Tijuana. The hospital is right next to Hyatt. We have everything from we actually one of the surgeons just was talking to me yesterday that was working another place. He was actually a plastic surgeon, very experienced plastic surgeon. He mentioned that our sterilization facility is one of the best he has seen, is even better than some of the JCI hospitals that are currently available. These pictures are not Photoshop. They are basically how the hospital looks like. It's of course brand new, and um, we have the latest technology. Let me make sure I'm okay with the time. Yeah, we still have 50 minutes. We do use Hyatt, which is one of the top hospital hotels right now in Tijuana. Um, Highly in demand. So we have to actually send reservations a month in advance to make sure we have the space. That's why it's very hard to add or cancel reservations because they have a very limited space and we have to work with that. And that's why we want the patients to secure their spots early, make sure you are doing all the paperwork properly so your journey would be seamless. You will not have any um you know anything change that makes your travel an inconvenience. And as a as a guideline, as a general guideline, you need to stop if you're on Ozempic at least 2 to 3 weeks prior to the surgery. You need to stop Ozempic, any GLP-1 medications, blood thinners 1 week, and basically you'll be given instructions after your approval if you're taking some medications on a regular basis, when to stop and when to start again. And basically, if you are taking something on a regular basis, please bring the bottles with you to Mexico. We want you to arrive before noon and your departure after 2 p.m. Now, one thing I need to mention, so the first day you arrive, if we have room for you, you can opt to stay in the hospital. But you also, usually, if you have companion, you can stay in the hotel. So your companion, the first night would be more relaxed. Your companion can have free breakfast. Remember, you have to be fasting before the surgery. On the day of surgery, if you're in the hospital, great. You are there already. They prepare you. If not, they tell you what time to show up in the lobby to get picked up to go to the hospital. Again, there are the Hyatt and Hospital Azar is few blocks away. So we do have transportation for your companion, but they can also walk between the hotel and hospital. Your companion can stay with you in the hospital if you want to. And post-operation, there is no set days that you stay. Now, at this point, we keeping all of our plastic surgery patients 2 nights in the hospital. Remember, a lot of the places like to do this on an outpatient basis, which means they want to release you the first day. Maybe their hospital is not accredited to stay overnight, but also for their cost effectiveness, for their convenience, they want to get you out as soon as possible. All patients at this time, they staying 2 nights in our hospital. And then the post-op nights depends on the procedure. So every uh, patient get a customized package of how many nights you stay in Mexico in total. Usually, like with big surgeries, we keep you at least 3, 4 nights after. So this is becomes a 6 night, 7 night stay. Remember, this is all included in the package. So when you're um, comparing prices, you have to see factor in all that it's involved. Now, a little bit about the procedures we offer, right? So for bariatrics, we have every procedure that you can imagine, and that's why we're not forcing you to do any type of surgery, whether it's bariatrics or plastics or certain type of bariatrics. We give you what is best for you. And we started doing gynecology. So we're doing hysterectomy, endometriosis. Actually, we've been doing some hybrid procedures like sleeve with hysterectomy and all that. So there's so many options that we can combine. And we talked about orthopedic. And Dr. Peter Lopez, he's one of our top surgeons. He's board certified. He actually travels from Guadalajara to Tijuana to do the plastics for us. He's been a great addition to our team. I can't say enough about the surgeons that we work with. Um, I want to make sure, though, that he is going to join us soon. Maybe, let's see if we have, yeah, we don't have. Okay. Now, again, I mentioned about Kelly not being able to join us today. But Destiny's here. I am going to let Destiny talk about her experience since waiting for Dr. Lopez to join us. Hi, Destiny. Do you hear me? You are on mute, by the way.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Hi, I'm fantastic. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for joining us last minute.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. We're snowed in, so I have nothing
oh,
better to
okay.
do than chase my six teenagers out of the kitchen. So,
Okay. So why don't you talk about your experience with us? Since we're waiting for Dr. Lopez to join us, this is a good spot for you to share your experience.
absolutely. So, I started out as a bariatric patient with Mexico Bariatric Center. You guys were actually at the old hospital then. I can attest that the new hospital is absolutely gorgeous. The old one was great, but this one is just breathtaking. It's so light, it's so airy, it is just overwhelmingly clean. And those ladies can get any stain out of anything. I swear the cleaning crew is amazing. But so I started my journey. I was nearly 500 pounds. I was 480 and some change, 489. I started with a gastric sleeve. I was going through the process of doing it here in the US. And what happened is they told me that there was no way I would ever lose enough weight doing just a gastric sleeve. They were very cold, very callous. They just treated me like I was a number on a file and they just pushed me right through. Nobody wanted to listen to what my concerns were. Um, or why I wanted to start with something like a sleeve instead of going straight bypass. So, a friend of mine had gone through Mexico Bariatric Center, and I just kind of got fed up with the US's system. And I reached out and I had the most amazing conversation with the coordinator. And the confidence that they built in me to come to Mexico was immense. I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Coming to Mexico, my first time I came alone, the culture there was overwhelming. You are immediately family to everybody you meet, from the nursing staff to your drivers. They treat you like you are absolutely one of their members of their family. Like they tuck you in at night, they go above and beyond. So I did have my bariatric procedure done there. I did the sleeve. And despite what the US said, I was able to get down to 149 pounds. So I've lost over 340 pounds with just the sleeve because I did utilize that tool. I, to this day, weigh everything. I count my proteins. I am always watching my intake um, in a healthy manner. I've got a food scale. I don't always limit what I can have, but I always limit it to my portion size. From there, I have gone in 2 phases because obviously that is a lot of skin to remove. The first phase, I did have breast augmentation through Mexico Cosmetic Center and a Fleur de Lis 360 tummy tuck. They took off 18 pounds of skin with that tummy tuck. So it was very, very successful. And then in December, I just came back. I had my arm lift and my thigh lift done. So I am incredibly grateful for the team and the experience that we had there. Um, a lot of people have expressed concern about coming to Mexico. Tijuana is a beautiful city. I never felt anything but completely safe, completely secure. Everything was explained so well by the coordinators before I got there, and then by the surgeons, like, in the moment, like you mentioned, they'll be marking you up. I was getting marked up, and he was like, "Hey, what if we do this a little differently?" And you know what? That was a better result for me, and I appreciated him being honest and being like, "If we do it this way, this will be better." So,
Great. And you've been since like maybe a few weeks ago, you're actually doing a coordination for us now.
yes, yeah, I
How's that
just started.
going?
I love it. Even before I came on staff, I have sent so many bariatric patients and a couple cosmetic patients over there. I am always, I don't think that I can express fully what it meant for Mexico Bariatric and Mexico Cosmetic Center, what they mean to me because they did give me my entire life back. When you're pushing 500 pounds, you are barely getting by. And then when you lose all of that weight, that skin just becomes another obstacle to living your life to the fullest. It was cosmetically for me was not necessarily an appearance, but a lifestyle choice. I wanted to be able to fit comfortably, not worry about, rubbing and irritation and things like that. Um, of course, the cosmetic aspect of it is nice, to have a nice body and things like that. But um, yeah, I was just there, and so I'm so passionate about everything that they've done. I've added years to my life. I didn't wanna be a burden to my children and my husband. I wanted to do things that were crazy. I wanted to ride roller coasters and jump out of planes and hike to the top of, Mount Helen and whatever I can do. And so I have just taken this adventure and ran with it.
It's great to have you. Thank you again for jumping in and because Kelly had a issue and couldn't join us today. I really appreciate you, Destiny. Thank you so much. And I think Tiffany is also one of our coordinators. I can I allowed her to talk with us and share how is it to be a past patient and a coordinator. Tiffany, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I was muted
Again, yeah.
earlier.
Thanks
Yeah,
for joining us last minute.
no
Tell us
problem.
what is like to be a past patient and also, being you're basically our
The bariatrics. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
4 years ago, I had the gastric sleeve with Mexico Bariatric Center, and then maybe a year later, I decided to be a, a coordinator for the bariatric, and then into Mexico Cosmetics. So it really did change my life. Like I had a hard time losing that baby fat. So, which is, I like that you didn't have to have an extremely high BMI to get it done. You could be, you know, at 35 BMI versus a 40. So I appreciated that I was able to go with the company and, do something for myself. So that's one thing that I know that I really did appreciate, that it was a good hospital. It was, I mean, it wasn't the older hospital. It was still nice. A lot of people get the experience in newer hospital, but I had a good experience. I went by myself. I felt safe. The drivers were nice. I really highly recommend the bariatric and then the cosmetics.
Actually, you just did a video I happened to see
Oh my
today.
gosh. Yes.
Yeah, let me actually play that since we have a little time right now.
Yeah.
Um, do you see it now?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, cool. Let's see if we can play that. I don't know what happened to it all of a sudden. Let's go back. We kind of okay, let's go back. All right, there you go. Let me see if the volume is down. So, okay, there.
Once you fill out a health questionnaire, we send it.
Let's go back from there. Okay.
Hey, you guys, it's Tiffany, coordinator at Mexico Cosmetic Center. Planning surgery abroad can feel like a big step, but at Mexico Cosmetic Center, you're never navigating alone. The first step to getting a consult with the doctor is filling out our health questionnaire. Once you fill out a health questionnaire, we send it over to our surgeon for review and to get approval. And they are the ones that approve your surgery based on a plan that's customized to you and what's also safe. As your coordinator, I facilitate communication between you and your surgeon. Once you arrive in San Diego, we do have our drivers communicate with you a day before surgery, so you'll know exactly who your driver is. You'll get a text or a call. So when you do arrive, the first thing you do is your pre-op lab. This time you may see your surgeon, but for sure you will see your surgeon the day of, and you have a more detailed consultation with the surgeon before going to your surgery. We do have, after your departure to the hotel for recovery, we do have a daily nurse that comes to visit you and making sure you're in good condition before you leave. Our surgeons do check on you after surgery, if from the time that you get there until after you leave. If for any reason you cannot get in communication with your surgeon, as your facilitator, I'll be able to communicate any questions you have to the surgeon and get that information back to you. We will be there every step of the way. Anytime you have any questions, you can reach out to your coordinator, myself, or any of our staff that's around to assist you. So let's start your journey today. Fill out that health questionnaire and let's get going.
That's great. Thank you so much. I'm texting actually with Dr. Lopez, see if he's joining us shortly. Again, thank you so much, Destiny and Tiffany.
Yeah.
We'll be with you shortly, maybe after, but let's see how the presentation go. I'm still again waiting for Dr. Lopez. Um, so let's go back, make sure we are on our presentation again.
Hello, Ron.
Hi,
I'm
how are
here.
you?
So fine. I was on the operation room. How are you?
Yeah, great, great. I mentioned that, and thank you for taking time. I know you're busy. I always say that the best surgeons are the one they are in the OR and they're not out there marketing and doing business. Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah, I know.
much. Yeah, so I was
Thank you.
just about to introduce you, and of course, a lot of our patients know about you already, but it's just you're one of the best additions to the company. Appreciate all that you do for us. Um, you know, um, I would let you talk about the procedures we offer and maybe go over each one. So thank you again, and I'll let you take over.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Okay, it's nice to be here with all of you and talking about these kind of procedures that we have and we offers in the Hospital Azar. Hospital Azar is a great hospital. We offers these procedures with the safety that you need in a surgery. Okay, well, let's talk about every procedure. Can we next? Okay, the next, please. Okay, thank you. About the facelift, this is a procedure that always we know that really change the face of patients. Maybe you have many questions about how this can change. Well, we need to remove the excess of fat with a liposuction and obviously make a dissection underlying the superficial musculoaponeurotic system. It's called the ESMAS. We try to define this louding. Okay, this is a picture that show how we do this kind of incision. You know, the limit is the line, the yellow line. So we try to make a decision to that position in order to try to put all these tissues in the place that they were before. I mean, when they get older, obviously we lose the strength of these tissues. So we need to come back the place that they were. Okay. About the facelift, we have many results like this, and we try to improve the part of your jawline. You know that this part of the medium face, how this change and how looks so nice. So this is the target of this kind of procedures. So that's a good thing to know. About the facelift, we have to know also that there are many kinds of facelift. That means that we try to combine many kind of facelift. For example, when we made a traditional facelift, we try to focus on the eyes, the cheeks, and the forehead. About the deep plane facelift, that is like the pictures that we are shown, we can know that we try to reposition all this, the mid face, the neck, and obviously with graph the with a liposuction pad that we can use on the chin. So that's a thing that you have to know. There are two kind of procedures. Post-bariatric patients, maybe most of the cases gonna need a deep plane facelift. This is because they have sagging skin because they lose obviously fat, but obviously they lose fat in the in the face. So that's why they need a deep plane facelift. So we can see like this patient how the the middle face can change all of this. We also can do a blepharoplasty, upper and lower, and also we can improve how they look. That's the thing about the facelifts. Okay, the next. Okay, about the nose job. We try to separate the skin and try to make the cartilage and bone into a separate shape. What that means? Um, we have many kinds of rhinoplasty. For example, when we try to do the closed procedure, this is just a minimal incision. But No, most of the patients are the ideal candidate to get this kind of procedure. Why? Because maybe we need to take graft, I mean the cartílago. We try to use this in order to change the position of the nose. We try to improve we call the height of the nose. And obviously, we try to make a dorsal hump reduction, try to contour this nasal tip, and obviously, we try to change this and correct the desviated septum that in many cases, we can look in the surgery. So, if you maybe you have the question how we change the shape of the nose. We change the shape of the nose with with the cartilago and bone structures. We can look in this. This is a patient that operated before, and we notice how she had a hump into the upper. So we try to change the bone structure, and also we help with a cartilago graft in order to change the shape of the tip also. So we can see all of these changes that we did. Okay. We need to evaluate these parameters in order to decide how we can make the surgery. Why? Because every nose is different. So we need to choose um, a good procedure to our patients in order to have a good symmetry, the white, and improve the profile that they have. Okay, about the tummy tuck, there are many kinds of tummy tuck. This is a procedure that many post-bariatric patient has for. So we need to know that we decide the height of the incision when we try to see how sagging skin the patient had. For example, a mini tuck, this is attaining the lower belly with a smaller surgery. That means that the patients that are the ideal candidate to a mini tuck, they are patients that maybe they lose maybe too not too much hate. For example, patients with one pregnancy, they are the ideal candidate. But when we have sagging skin, we need to extend the incision. So that patient's gonna need the full tuck, the extend tuck, tummy tuck, and the circular tummy tuck. About the fleur de lis, tummy tuck or butterfly, maybe most of the patients that have the history of bariatric surgery, maybe most of these patients gonna need the fleur de lis tummy tuck, okay? About the reverse tummy tuck, the ideal patient that gonna need the tummy tuck, the reverse tummy tuck, maybe they have sagging skin just on the upper area of their abdomen. Okay, the anesthesia is given in a low incision in that it's made in the lower belly. The excess skin and fat are removed with liposuction that can be used. Um, a patients that are candidate with to a liposuction, they are patients that have a good hemoglobin. So that's so important to decide the ideal procedure that the patient's gonna need. Okay. Another thing that we made with a tummy tuck is try to the abdominal muscle are sutured together, and the excess skin is removed, and obviously the skin is closed with drains to remove of this fluid. We get off remove these drains maybe in 1 week if the patient have they don't have liquid. Okay, this is a patient that get a fleur de lis. You can notice how the patients change all his shape of his body. So we try to improve the lateral size of the abdomen and also the upper side. That's why she need the fleur de lis from the talk. Okay, the next patients get a extended tummy tuck because you can see that that she doesn't uh, she didn't have a prominent abdomen in the upper side. Okay, about the scars take the healing process maybe can last in between 6 or 8 weeks. Um, Obviously, you're gonna notice all of these final result in maybe 2 months or 1 year. Okay, so we need to know that you have take care of you. You have to make exercise. You have to keep up these results, and obviously try to eat in a good way. Okay, after the surgery, we can wait maybe 1 week or 10 weeks in order to remove the drains. After that, we try to focus in the scars. That means that we try to use many creams, health in order to fade all of this. Obviously, you're gonna notice the final result after 12 months, and also you're gonna see all these results with obviously a good healing. Okay. About this, we try to use these silicone tape and creams for scar up for 12 weeks. Obviously, we try to protect it from the sun and use sunscreen in order to don't get black scars. We try to avoid the activity for at least 6 or 8 weeks, and obviously we don't we try to avoid stretching. Okay, you're gonna rest maybe 2 months in order to get a good healing. Okay, obviously stay hydrated and eat healthy diet and protein. That the most important in order to have a good healing. Obviously, the patient have to eat too much protein. That's mean maybe fish, chicken, and red meat. Okay. About the breast augmentation and lift, you can notice that there are many kinds of breast lift. How I decide what kind of breast lift the patient gonna need? Well, they're gonna depend on the amount of sagging skin that they have. Also, we decide that because of the age, obviously, maybe can have a history of bariatric surgery that the things that we use in order to decide the kind of breast lift that they're gonna need. Many patients I know that are afraid of have large incisions, but the target of the breast augmentation with a lift, it's to try to move the breast in the good position that they can look so great. So there are many measures that we use to try to keep all of this in a good place. For example, we try to use the liposuction in the breast area that remove the excess fat to achieve a more contour appearance. That's mean in the shoulder area, below the shoulder area, we can make a liposuction in order to run this area of the breast. Also, we can use the breast implants to enhance and improve the breast size shape with silicone implants. We use Motiva implants that keep the round shape of the patient in order to look so great. There are many sides that we can use because the patient in many procedures are afraid of look too big or too teeny. So we make some proof in order to decide the good shape in the good size that the patient gonna need. Okay, and the breath lift, that's a thing that I told with you before that we try to decide with a lollipop incision, with anchoring incision, a donut incision, and the crescent incision. But this is just with a physical revision that we choose which procedures or kind of breath lift that our patient gonna need. So this is a good change that the patient had have after the surgery. So you can see that the breast augmentation and the breast lift can include all of these procedures, liposuction, breast implants, and the breast lift. Okay, they are a combined procedure. Okay, look, this patient, this is a post-bariatric patient, and you can look how the breast and the gland are they have a separation. So the muscle is in the upper part of the chest, and the gland is below. So we try to um, take the gland to the muscle in order to get a new shape. So we can see in that in the next pictures. And also we use silicone implants in order to keep this round shape of the breast. Arm lift. The arm lift or brachioplasty reshapes the upper arms by removing excess skin and fat, result in a firmer, defined arms and less sagging. Uh, we offer three kind of arm lift. The mini arm lift that it's just for the patient that have sagging skin just in the proximal area. That's me, the axillary area. And the standard arm lift, there are incision in an upper arm, in the upper arm that remove the excess skin, but in the maybe can go to the elbow, from the elbow to the axillary part. This is a standard arm lift, and the extended arm lift goes from the elbow to the axilla and maybe 10 centimeters below the axillary area. They can be the extended arm lift is maybe we do the extend arm lift in the post-bariatric patient. So we need to know that there are many kinds of these procedures, the arm lift, I mean, and we're gonna decide obviously with a good revision and photographies in order to decide a good result. Okay, this is a patient that you can notice that they had sagging skin that comes from the elbow to the axillary area. We performed a standard arm lift, and we can see the change of this patient. This is a front. The next is a front picture that we can look after 2 months after the surgery, and we see a scar that is in a healing process, and we use the creams and gel of silicone in order to improve the color and the thickness of the scar. So You don't be afraid to get the scar because we can treat these scars. The tie leaf, bariatric patient, especially after the gastric sleeve or bypass, often opt for these procedures. Sometimes we combine them with a body lift, the tummy tucks and breast lift and procedures like this. We offer three kinds of tie lift: the regular, the extended, and the spiral tie lift. Also, we decide the kind of tie lead that the patient gonna need uh, with um, with the photographies, with the revision that we made to our patients before the surgery. So that's the decision is just with the amount of sagging skin that the patient had. In these procedures, we have to take care of the walk. That means that we need to rest maybe 4 and 8 weeks. It's gonna depend of the healing process of every patient, but maybe 1 or 2 months we're gonna need to have a good healing. So we need to take care of the walking with these patients. Okay. Okay, look this patient, how the how change the skin of this patient. We can look in the internal area of the legs. Does the patient have too much sagging skin? And we try to make a standard tie lift that can cut from this. Yeah, see, yeah, it's a standard tiling. So we can change of this shape of the and skin of the tag on the legs. Okay, mommy makeover. The mommy makeover is the procedures that I really enjoy because it's a combined procedure. They include three procedures: the liposuction, the tummy tuck, and the breast lift. They together are called mommy makeover. So in one stage, we can improve all of these areas. So we can combine uh, full tummy tuck, extended tummy tuck, circular tummy tuck, floor release tummy tuck, a reverse tummy tuck with a breast lift or breast reduction or breast augmentation. And also we can combine with a liposuction that can include a arm lift or a tight lift. Okay, we decide this kind of procedures. The good candidate patients that gonna need a mommy makeover are patients that obviously have a good levels of hemoglobin. That means that a good level of hemoglobin is upper of 13 of the hemoglobin. So we need to get this level in order to be a good candidate to a mommy makeover. If you don't have this level, we're gonna try to improve this with iron supplementation that can be or in oral or intravenous doses. So you can be a good candidate to this kind of procedure if you do all of these things. Okay, we can see in the pictures that we are showed. This is a patient that gets a mommy makeover. You can notice how the breasts change because we made a breast lift with implants. We can see also a liposuction in the laterals um, and we can see a tummy tuck. This is the incision. Maybe this patient gets a standard tummy tuck. After that, this is the same patient 6 months after the surgery. So we can see how she changed her mood and the confidence. And so, the target of these procedures obviously is change and get off this sagging skin, but also the confidence of all of you are the most important thing in this kind of procedure. So these procedures can change of this all of this. So okay, next. Okay, this is another patient that we operate. You can see how it changed the shape of the abdomen. We made also a lateral liposuction and also a tummy tuck. She reduced maybe three sides of her abdomen. And you can see how flat is right now her abdomen. Also, the patient in the next photography, she is not a postoperative patient, but she came to improve the shape of her abdomen and also the breath. You can see the separation in the breath area, and after the surgery, we made internal bra in order to keep there together the breath. And also, we improve and try to make a flat abdomen with a liposuction with a tummy tuck. Okay, the Brazilian butt lift is a cosmetic surgical procedure that enhance the size and shape of buttocks. We transferring the fat from the other areas of the body such as the abdomen, thighs, and hips. When we perform a liposuction and tummy tuck, we can get this fat and use in your butt in order to improve all of this. Okay, so we try to inject in a safe way. Obviously, we try to use technology that keep the safety of you in this kind of procedure. So you have to keep in mind that always we make all these procedures with the quality and the technology that you need in order to have a safe procedure. Okay, this is a patient that has for to improve the shape of her butt, and you notice the hips that she had and how we round and make a good shape of her hips, and also the butt in the same patient how improve after the surgery. Okay, this is a scar aftercare that you can get in the hospital that you're gonna need. So this kind of gel and creams are so important to get a good healing. Okay. Okay, how fast can I return to work after cosmetic surgery? This is a good question that many of you uh, have. Okay, about in general, most of these patients gonna need 2 months or 8 weeks to get to return to the activities that you did before. So the facelift you can I can see okay, sorry. Okay. About the facelift, the rhinoplastic and the arm lift, you can wait maybe 4 weeks to return to work. But a tummy tuck, the breath augmentation and the thigh lift, they're gonna need maybe 4 or 8 weeks. That's gonna depend of your healing because the patients are different. So if you have a good healing, obviously you can return maybe no in 4 weeks, like I say, maybe can be 2 weeks, but it's gonna depend of your healing. But on average, there are the weeks that you're gonna need. So Remember, facelift, rhinoplastic, and arm lift. Maybe gonna need 2 weeks, okay? And tummy tuck, breast augmentation, and thigh lift. Maybe they're gonna need 4 weeks. Um, After that, maybe you can increase the activity in order to have a normal life, the activity that you did before the surgery. This is so important. I really like to focus in this part of the cares after your surgery. For procedure shock has tummy tuck, recommend to wait 3 months before working out to avoid stretching incisions. Light walking is recommended after 2 weeks. We try to avoid high impact activities of lifting so scars with heel faster and no rise. Wait at least 6 or 8 weeks before swimming. Why? Because you can get open wounds if you don't keep these instructions. So we need to keep all of these in order to have a good healing. Okay. Okay, this is so important. This is when you're here in the hospital at the Flora Spa. We also offer you the Botox fillers and skincare to obviously have that change and enhance all of over your face. So in Botox, we can apply in full face. We can use it in lip. We can use in the masseterins, obviously, and we can use the treatment of for migraines and or hyperhidrosis. We can use the fillers in nose, chins, and lips. Obviously, we can improve the shape of your face with the filler. So this is so important to improve. Obviously, you can get these procedures with your surgeries also. So we can make the surgery, and after the surgery, you can get these procedures. So that's so important to know.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lopez, for explaining all the procedures we offer.
Hello, Flora.
Hello, doctor. How are you?
Hello, hello.
Good
So fine.
seeing you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I do have Flora with me. She just wants to say hi and
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Flora, and I'm the directive of the plastic. And I would like to give you my number if you guys after hours having a hard time to get a hold of the office, you could call me anytime, text me actually, and then I will call you guys back. And my number is 916-224-9611 right now, but I think in future I am going to change my number to 619 area code, which is a San Diego phone number. So you could call me with that number. I will inform you with that number very soon. But for now, it's 916-224-9611. Looking forward to see all of you guys. You will see me quite a lot in Tijuana because we do go check on the customers, the patient. Yes. And I'm looking forward to see you, Dr. Peter. Hopefully next week. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Flora.
You're
I see
welcome.
you.
so maybe one of the questions that I keep seeing the is being asked is body lift. And you already talked about the fleur de lis, which is the butterfly, or it's called FDL. They're all the same name, doing the same procedure. But what's the difference or similarity between lower body lift and tummy tuck? You are on mute, Dr. Lopez, you're on mute.
Thank you. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. The difference between body and lower lip with a tummy tuck is because the tummy tuck focus in the frontal area. But when we perform a lower lift, we focus in the front, but also in the back. Okay, so we can also call body lower lift a circular tummy tuck. Why? Because we include the front and the back area. So that's the difference. Tummy tuck that is just performed on the front are the standard, the mini tummy tuck, and the extend tummy tuck. But a circular tummy tuck is it can be called like a body lower lift. Okay, I don't know if you can get the idea of this and the difference.
Yeah, and I see circular tummy tuck is becoming very popular. One of the
Yeah.
most popular procedures right now is circular tummy tuck. Now, talking about our procedures, every patient get um, consultation. Again, our team with Flora, Jennifer, our coordinator, Dr. Lopez, they get full consultation before we come back and recommend these are the procedures for you. These are the number of nights you stay, and we give you a price for you specifically. So these prices are average and the one I'm showing, but it includes all the fees that is involved from the time you land in San Diego, whether you drive, of course, or you fly in, including your hotel, post-op, pre-op, your aftercare support, your aftercare nurse, whether there are actually occasions that the patient can stay all the nights that they need to be in Mexico in the hospital. If you have room, you can opt for that too. There is m- enough to be said about that because you get nurses taking care of you 24/7. If you need more medication or anything on your incisions, we do. So there are some patients that they opt in to stay in the hospital all the time that they're in Mexico, especially if you're by yourself. But then again, it's based on our availability of having rooms for you to accommodate that. But that's something you want to explore. Um, Again, the Mommy Makeover packages that we offer are extremely affordable and you save a bunch of money. And also remember that the not every facility or surgery centers or surgeons are willing to do all this in one procedure, in one operation in US or Canada. So you get not only these skilled surgeons that they can perform all those in one operation, but you also save a bunch of money. So there was a question about fat transfer to breast, which I wish Dr. Lopez was here to explain. That is not, Dr. Lopez, they're asking about fat transfer to breast, and I
Yeah.
want you to talk about that, please.
Okay. There are many patients that they don't like to use the silicone implant or the saline implant. So we can use the fat that we can get with a liposuction in order to improve the shape. But you have to know that the fat that we use
Okay,
to
good.
improve the shape of your breath can absorb a little bit. So
Sure.
maybe this is a second option if you don't want implant, but you have to know that maybe we don't can get too much sides. I mean, maybe 1 cup upper of the result. So that's the thing of um, fat graph, and we can use the fat to improve the shape. Obviously, we if we can we if we use the fat, we have to use make the bread leaf. So that the thing that you have to know, because if you have just augmentations without a bread leaf with fat, maybe the result is not gonna be the best. So we need to make a bread leaf. You see, you saw that we have too many kind of bread leaf with the fat that we can graft with liposuction in one area or two areas.
I have a question for you, doctor.
Yeah, Flora.
But does the fat last? Do you lose it
Okay.
in a long term? And also with the fat moves?
Okay. The fat can last all of the life, but you have to know that you can the fat can reabsorb maybe 20%, 40%, all of this. So that's why the fat we use like a second option in order to improve the volumes of the breath because of the reabsorb. There's
So if you do lose weight, you lose the fat as well, correct?
Yeah, yeah, but the fat that you don't lose, they're gonna last all your life.
For long time.
Mhm.
Okay,
All the time.
that was it. That was my question.
Okay.
Again, patients coming to us, we want you to do a blood test a month before arrival. Make sure your hemoglobin levels are high, preferably over 13, especially for mommy makeover, multiple procedures in one operation. And especially post-bariatric patients are usually they have anemia and they are lower hemoglobin. Um, they're asking, can they combine a thigh lift with a breast lift or a tummy tuck?
Okay. Like I said before, if you have good level of hemoglobin, we can perform all of these procedures, okay? In order to have a safe procedure, okay?
Now, one
So
thing
they,
from my experience and observation is being not do combination of upper body and the lower body.
Yes,
It's
yes.
very hard to, the post-operatively is very hard to take care of the incision. You want to make sure, because surgery itself is great, but the post-op recovery and care is a huge part of the success. And taking care of your wounds, keep them clean, put the silicone tape, doing all that, wearing garment. These are the things that make the outcome to be successful. I mean, we see that often. If they don't take care of their incision, things can go really, bad. And when you're doing upper body and then lower body with your thigh lift, it will be very hard to take care of both type of incision. And this is what actually comes out. We were talking about the number of hours that you be under anesthetic. It's we like to break down the big surgeries into what we call stage surgery. So you come one time, you get tummy tuck and breast lift, and you come another time, maybe we get thigh lift and
Yes.
some other procedure. So it's okay to do this in multiple times and stage it instead of trying to do everything at once, because you want to have great outcome. You want to be successful in what you go through.
And it's not
yeah,
really the doctors, yes, they could do it. As Ron said, that is the recovery. I mean, it takes a long time. As I'm sure, Doctor, you agree with us. So what is your
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with you because maybe the patients can be a good candidate, but maybe if the patients comes alone or maybe the patients work they need to get into the work quickly. Obviously, they are not a good candidate because they have to take care more of the time. So the recommendation always gonna be to treat the upper part, like Ron said, and after that, maybe the lower part area of your body. So that's so important to know. But we can make it, obviously, if you have a good level of hemoglobin. But most of the cases, mainly in the post-bariatric patient, can be possible to combine all of these procedures.
And a lot of time we think that, oh yes, I will take care of myself. I will do the right
Mm-hmm.
things. And
Sí,
it really is not true. And I'm sharing
yeah,
this from my own experience. And I'm not a bariatric patient, but I did have some procedure, and I thought that I'm healed or I could do it, I work out. And unfortunately, I didn't. And the result of that, I wasn't, of course, it wasn't with you, Dr. Peter, but it's just us human. We think that we can do it. Oh, yes. But it does take literally almost a year to six months to see the result to year, but 3 months you have to be like really take care of yourself, not do any lifting anything, not doing any kind of heavy workout, and
yeah,
maybe from outside it looks we are healed, but isn't it so many layers, doctor, that you have to heal?
yeah.
Go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
explain that, please, to us.
Yes, yes. When we make the incisions, obviously there are many layers that we have to cut. That's why the the healing process comes from the inside to the outside. So we need to keep rest, we need to don't stretch, and obviously there are many movements that we avoid, like to lift your, for example, in an arm lift or breath lift, we avoid the to lift your arms over your shoulder, for
Over your
example.
shoulder.
Why? Because we can get open wounds if we don't keep up this instruction. Because of the healing process comes from the inside to the outside, like you said, Flor,
Thank you.
right?
Now, we keep you enough time in Mexico so we can, if we use drain, we can remove the drain before your departure. That's the idea, right? And when they ask, oh, is it safe to fly 5 hours, whatever? Yeah, because we keep you enough time. Of course, you can always add additional nights. But remember, those are, you just have to arrange that with your coordinator. If you want to stay extra nights in hospital or hotel, or even you can stay more in the San Diego side, you can, before your travel. Um,
And one thing that we should mention that please, when you come, do not bring a lot of heavy suitcase with you. Small, you
yes.
don't need a whole lot of clothes because you have to remember you're carrying those back and you want to not hardly carry anything, especially if you're doing any kind of arm surgery. So even though you feel good, but for 3 months. Do not lift anything. And when you come, you don't need whole lot of clothes with you. You just need couple piece of comfortable top, pants, and shoes. You know, the shoes that you need to get the one is you just don't have to bend over to tie your shoes, like one of those slipper. So these are little things that we don't pay attention, but they're very important. Okay.
Yeah, something I'm just actually answering one of the attendees. Robert is asking, why do you focus so much on the women and not talking about the
Men.
male? And to be honest with you, we do a good percentage of our surgeries is men, and they come for
Wow.
body contouring,
Yes.
style
Yes.
lift,
Yes.
so I'm sorry that
But this is for men and women.
yeah,
I
yeah,
always
so yeah,
advise everything.
yeah,
It
it goes
really
both
goes
way.
for both way.
Yes.
Go ahead, doctor.
No, yes, sorry. The tummy tuck, the arm lift, the breath lift, it's also for the male patient. You have
Yeah.
to know that not only for the women, and we can improve the shape of the abdomen, also the breath, because I know that many patients have this problem that is called gynecomastia. So we
Yes.
can correct with a breath lift. Obviously, you can get into a liposuction in order to improve your shape, to get abs. Also, you can get that. So also, if you want to improve the shape of your butt with a BBL, we can do to the men. So you have to keep in mind that these procedures that we said before are for women and men. So that's the thing. That's the point.
There is no difference. This all the
Yeah,
procedure, it goes for both.
yeah, and actually, when we get the patients and we have the record of the patient, we also ask for the desire of you, and obviously we try to focus and explain you if we can get that desire that you want. Obviously, so these surgeries are for all of you. I mean, men and women.
Yes. But actually, one thing that I want to share with our experience, um, we need to focus more telling men to be more careful because they think they're tough
Yeah.
and they're heel and I mean, seriously, they're running to a lot more problem by not being careful. The stitches open up sooner than, we women more careful. And that's my advice to all the men patient. Please, when you get the surgery, don't think that I know you guys go, you think that, okay, I'm healed, I'm tough, I could handle it. But no, it takes the same amount of time for women to heal,
True.
yeah, than men. So that's my experience with the patient that we've been having that we do. That's the only problem we have with men. They're not careful enough. They think that they're good and they move a lot quicker than, they lift things and we have the stitches open up.
So a couple of things I want to say. First of all, the more time you give us, which means the sooner you book, it gives us more power to make sure your reservations in hotel, hospital is all smooth. If you take care of your payments, paperwork, the sooner the better, of course. There are, we do post this webinar on Facebook. You just have to ask the coordinators for the link. So if you didn't get to watch all this, because I see a few people have to jump out because they had other things. They're asking me, can they watch this after? Yes, they can. So just ask our coordinators for the link. Um, Another thing I wanted to mention was, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say because I see the questions that you guys are asking. The, the we've been great from the bariatric and plastic side. From the inception, we've been educating patients. Educated patient is comes with a greater success in the operation, greater success post-operatively, is best for the surgeon because they know what to do to prepare themselves. The surgeon is easier on their surgery. And it's just, like we were talking about, Dr. Lopez mentioned about post-op, diet. You want to have an easy diet
Yes.
after, surgery. It's
No
huge.
seafood.
Yeah.
No seafood, please. Right, doctor?
Yeah, you have to take care of the food that you gonna get after your surgery. Obviously, the proteins are the most important thing that you have to eat after your surgery. Why? Because the protein have of the nutriment that you're gonna need to have a good healing. Proteins are the most important. Remember
And
that.
also, please, doctor, mention that right after surgery, we give the patient a very balanced and light food.
Yeah,
Not
post-op.
because, yes, not because we don't want them to eat, because it's easier on them
For the recovery.
for the recovery, at least the past couple days, past 2 or 3
Yes.
days,
Yes.
more like liquid with the, nothing heavy, because they have all
Yeah.
this medication in their body, and then it could cause they could get sick, and we don't want that.
Yeah, the first week you're gonna need that kind of food. So you have to know that.
And then one thing, so we were talking about why MCC, right? For example, the team of bariatric, plastic certified surgeons, which Dr. Lopez is leader in our group. We are working right now with 4 board certified surgeons that are not only board certified, they also experience in post-bariatric patients. That's huge. We offer medical tourism insurance at a discounted rate. We use the best facilities, whether it's hotel or hospital. And our packages are all inclusive, which means we don't just give you a price code for the surgery itself. I see so many centers that they give you lower prices, but that doesn't include everything, including if you need garment, post-op care. I mentioned you stay in the hospital 2 nights standard. This is already an upgrade. So remember, when you are comparing prices or comparing procedures, what to actually have to consider. And we talked about the amount of, hours we keep you under anesthetic, all those. Okay, so let me see if there's more questions. There are some more questions we haven't answered, but I try to do the ones that are, mostly asked. By the way, Deborah, say hi for
Hello.
is advanced. Yeah, so okay, I think that yes.
There is one is that does the tummy tuck helps people.
If you guys need a consultation, whether you are close to the border that you want to drive in, I sent Oscar's number. You can talk to Oscar to arrange for that. Of course, the coordinator needs to be involved, whoever is your coordinator. And also, we could do a Zoom also, um, with you and the coordinator and the surgeon. Of course, remember, our surgeons are doing surgery every day. They're not out there to do marketing or business or things like that. So you have to be mindful of that. But we can arrange for you to do all this. That's why we do these webinars, because everybody gets online and we can ask questions and talk to the surgeon.
One patient doctor asked if the implant is under the muscle or over the muscle.
Okay, this is a good question. Thank you. Well, I place the implant. It's gonna that depends of the patient. Why? The post-bariatric patient always gonna need all on the top. I mean,
Over
over
the muscle.
the muscle, over the muscle. Why? Because they have a muscle that maybe it's not gonna be the best to keep the implant in a good shape. And obviously, if we place just in the muscle, we're gonna get a Snoopy face shape. That's mean a double bubble shape. If we place in under the muscle, because the gland of these kind of patients are in a different position. I don't know if the patient that has for these questions see the presentation. I show a patient that have the gland too much below and the muscle was here. So if we place the implant under the muscle, you're gonna notice a round shape here because of the implant under the muscle, but the gland is gonna be in another with another shape. I mean the double bubble shape. So we try to put over the muscle in the post-bariatric patient. But the patients that are not post-bariatric patient and are really thin, well, we try to put under the muscle because the gland it no don't have doesn't have the separation that the post-bariatric patient have. So this is a case that we need to be so careful to decide the place that we're gonna do the implant. So it's gonna depend of you. So I don't know the case of this patient, but we need to see the breadth in order to decide if I have to place under or over the muscle.
Perfect. One more question is the patient asks, should I stop
Hormone therapy
hormone therapy
before.
Yeah.
before the surgery?
Yeah, actually, you have to go to Fashion in order to suspend this kind of treatment. Why? Because the hormone therapy can in the surgery you can get thrombosis. So we need to avoid this kind of medications before your surgery, maybe 2 weeks before the surgery. So we need to go to the physical in order to decide how we can avoid thrombosis.
Perfect.
Another good question is, how do you deal with fat and loose skin in the back?
Okay, can you repeat? I can hear
Like,
that.
if they have loose skin in the back and fat in the back, what procedure
Okay,
is gonna
Is
take
it
care of
okay.
that?
Perfect. We offer also a torsoplasty. Torsoplasty
yes.
it's the best procedures to improve the sagging skin from the back. So torsoplasty. And we
Perfect.
can combine, yeah, and actually we can combine a torsoplasty with most of the procedures that we talked about before. Okay, so this is a good question.
One patient asked if I should have my BMI less 30 or less.
Yeah.
Of course, the answer is absolutely. You get
Yeah.
much better result in I mean in any way you could think of. So,
Your pre-op diet,
and you get better
preparations.
result when you have less your BMI less, you would be a lot happier because then the doctor could get rid of all that extra skin, and you will have better body shape, body into.
And actually, I want to add that if you have a lower BMI, you're gonna be more safe in your surgery. Because if you have maybe a BMI that it's on the limit, and upper that the limit, you can get complications like open wounds, like bad healing, maybe a bad you can get also thrombosis, because this happen also with the patient that don't have the ideal BMI. So we need to keep a good BMI.
Yes, I myself, when I speak to the patient, I always tell them your BMI should be the lower, the better result, always. As you said, doctor, in every way, in the surgery as well, too.
Another good question. I mean, we're almost getting
It's
to
time.
2 hours, but if they have had implant in 2016, which is about 10 years ago, do they need to replace them? Is there
Yeah.
any limit for implant?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the new technology of the implants can last all of your life, okay? The new ones. But if we are talking about 20 years before, obviously they have to change. Also, if we open a wound and the implant exposes to the environment, the rule is to replace or take off. So that's a rule. If we make a cut and the implant exposes to the environment.
I was just talking to a friend yesterday, and she was telling me her sister had an implant for 10 years, and after that, her body was rejecting it. They had to remove it. Is because was it because of that it was time to change the implant, doctor?
Actually, this not depend of the time. It depends because of the patients, because there are many patients that they have immunological um, I mean, illness like arthritis rheumatoid, they can have lupus, and patients that have this kind of illness, they're gonna reject the implant. So we need to be careful in this kind of patients. Why? Because her body responds in a different way that a patient that doesn't have this kind of illness.
Perfect.
Well, we tried to answer as much as we could. I appreciate you, Dr. Lopez. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone, to joining us. If you didn't hear your questions answered, again, we're here. Flora is
Yes,
here.
please called,
Yeah.
and I'm constantly talk to our doctors, and if you guys have any question, I think that I could help you out because I'm constantly talk to the doctors, and I know sometimes it's hard, it is very hard to directly to speak to the doctor, but I'm here. You could text me, call me anytime. Please don't hesitate. Thank you very
And
much.
also, yeah,
Mm.
thank you. And also you can ask of the question that you have, because when I always talk with Flora, with Tiffany, yeah, that they are with Kelly, and I try to solve of these question that you have. So
Yes.
be confident to ask all the doubts that you have. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
Destiny, thank you so much. We finally see your face. You look
Yes.
great.
Hello, Destiny.
Tiffany, thank you for
Yeah, thank
jumping in.
you.
You have
Thank you for
anything to
having
add?
us.
You guys have anything to add?
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, I kind of
Hi.
did. I know I did see a question on here that somebody asked if the surgeon recommended a fleur-de-lis and they don't want that incision, um, but some patients like, I want the standard, but most likely the surgeon says you're not a candidate. So like, how do you determine the tummy tuck based on their body type? Because that's a question I get a lot is why did he recommend a fleur-de-lis and not a standard tummy tuck for certain patients?
Okay. Hello, Tiffany. Um,
Mhm.
about the your question is a good question. For example, we decide the kind of tummy tuck because we always see the photos that you always send us. And if the patient have a predominant sagging skin in the medial area of their abdomen, they have to get a fleur de lis, the medial incisions. And you can notice many patients have this kind of sagging skin, an amount of sagging skin in the front part and middle part of the abdomen. If we make just a standard tummy tuck, they're gonna keep this sagging skin. Why? Because we don't trade this part with a standard tummy tuck. And also we take this decision because the patient also have a sagging skin on the lateral. And with a fleur de lis, we try to reduce this sagging skin with this kind of incision, like a jacket. I mean, like this.
Yeah.
So we try to trade the lateral area of the abdomen, lateral and medial area of the abdomen. That's why we decide this patient needs a fleur de lis and this patient needs a standard fleur de lis because the sagging skin that are in the middle and the lateral side.
And isn't it, doctor, you also get a smaller waist that way as well too, especially if you have the shape of more like an apple shape versus a pear shape. When you do that procedure, you do get more smaller waist. Is that true?
Mm, of the patients are different, but in the case of the women, they have a pear shape.
Yeah.
So we try to recover that shape in order to keep the shape of the waist. So
Yes.
that depends of the kind of body that the patient
Body
have.
shape.
And yeah, and the men have a apple shape, we call that. But the target is to get a inverted triangle in the men's and the women's with a pear shape. I mean the waist,
A
focus in the
smaller
waist.
waist.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I also think one of the things Tiffany mentioned, and I know that we've ran into a lot, is concerns about the scar down the center. Um, I did the fleur de lis, so I do have that scar. And I will tell you that I made sure I wore my compression garments.
Mhm.
I made sure that I had a high protein diet. I used the silicone tape and the silicone scar gel. My scar is very minimal. You can barely see it at all. So I think with the proper care, and even if you do feel like you have a little bit, there are some scar revision options out there. um, I think the scar is very limited with most patients if you properly care for it, and you're not going to see it. It's not going to be as big an issue as you think as you heal out over the year.
Yes. I agree with
Yes.
you.
Agree, yeah. And then also people that have like their bariatric patients, and I know that everybody heals different by age, and also if you're a bariatric patient, so their scars do their elasticity of their skin is a little different. So
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Peter Lopez, can you explain that to some of the patients that are like bariatric
Mhm.
patients? We do have people that come to us and they're like, well, my arm lift is healing a lot slower than I anticipated. Because I know we have that come up sometimes. Like, can you explain like the difference as if you're a bariatric patient how the skin heals a little bit in age.
But again, we are here if you have questions. We would be more than happy to answer you. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
very much,
everybody.
Dr. Lopez.
Dr. Lopez, Destiny,
Thank you.
Tiffany,
Yes,
Flora.
thank
We
you.
appreciate you
Thank you
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you
you
next
Thank you.
time. Okay,
Goodbye,
thank you.
guys.